Hey guys, long time no talk. I wasn't sure if I was going to make this video, but I've decided it might help someone, so I can't go into too much detail about some of the stuff, but I'd like to talk about some of it. When I last did a video, I was in a really good place. I was exercising pretty much every day. I was eating well, I was feeling good. I had a group of friends that I really cared about. One of the friends I was going to do a video with, and then I had a phone call from my nan, who was in hospital. She'd actually broken her hip tripping over a paramedic's bag, because they had to take her son to hospital. He's my brother's dad. There's some complicated stuff there, but he sadly passed. And to add onto that, I later found out that my nan had terminal cancer. Now, this was literally probably just after I posted my last video, so we're talking now probably 4 years ago. I'm thinking, yep. And it was difficult because obviously COVID was still very much a thing. My nan was trying to get a hold of my brother. I decided it was best to contact my mum. My mum was best suited as a nurse herself to know kind of what the procedures were, and also to be there for him because I don't live in the same town as my family. So my mum was able to take my brother, and he was able to say goodbye to his dad. But obviously it was difficult for everyone. I know many people really kind of understood. So that was kind of tough enough on its own. And then you add obviously that I knew I was gonna eventually lose my nan. They said it would be 6 months. But obviously it's never an exact science. I decided to seek therapy, but I made the mistake of going through BetterHelp, and it was garbage. Like, I think my first session was kind of nice. It was just nice to talk to someone, but it just kind of really went off the rails, like, soon. They didn't really know what to ask me or what to talk about, so I was being asked about numerology and lots of, and I like spiritual stuff, but it wasn't helpful. I was told not to exercise because they felt like I was forcing myself to do it, and stopping that was like the biggest mistake of my life, because that I now realise that I'm autistic. That was a journey I went on, and I think having that gave me a lot of structure and was really helpful. So when I lost that, I got worse. The therapy is supposed to help you, but that kind of felt like it ruined my life a little bit. And it's not as simple as that, and I'm not trying to say like, oh, that's it and my life was over. It's more complicated, but yeah, it was tough. So I decided obviously I couldn't keep up with these videos. I'd cancelled the initial video that I was going to record with my friend to obviously go and be with my family and help them, but I knew I couldn't really do anything. Like, even when lockdown ended, I didn't want to go to conventions. I didn't really want to do anything because I just kept thinking any day now I'm going to get the call and she's just going to be gone. So I just kind of put my life on hold. I did get to spend a lot of time with her. She actually went on way longer than they expected. She came back from the hospital. Obviously, her hip was healing, and she still seemed quite well in herself. So I'd go and visit. I would go stay because my mum was in my bubble, so it was safe for me to go there. And they actually came over at Christmas time. So I got to spend a Christmas with my nan that I hadn't done that since I was a kid. Like, it was wonderful. Like, I'm so happy I got that time with her. And she just kept going. She kept going for like a really long time. She only passed a few months ago now. And after a while, I did start saying, like, look, I think after about 2 years, I was like, I can't keep putting my life on hold. I need to at least to try and go and do stuff. So I think it was February 2023. I went to my first convention in a really long time. It was quite local to me, and funnily enough, I met 2 people who have ended up being my closest friends. So that was really special. I turned 30, which was an experience. There was a well-intended surprise party that turned out to be very stressful for me. And one of the friends that I used to be really close with, they weirdly developed feelings for me, and, you know, they knew I only thought of them as a friend, and that would have been fine, but they just completely freaked out about it to the point where me and my friend were scared. And I don't think he realises that we were genuinely scared of him. We thought like he was just going to turn up, because we told him we needed space, and he kind of ignored us, so we kind of removed him from the group. So then he decided to post in a book club group. So we finally got him to stop talking to us directly, but he still couldn't give us enough space. And, you know, I'd kind of suspected, because he'd started making me feel uncomfortable. My 30th gift was a book about a vampire and a werewolf falling in love, and we always used to joke that me and my female friend were vampires and he was a werewolf, and it wrote something that made me uncomfortable in the book, and just generally, like, it was getting a bit much. Like, he texted me to say that Twitter wasn't working, and I was like, I'm reading my book, I do not care. Like, you know, the little things that on their own don't matter, but it was just getting a bit much, and I kind of felt like I couldn't go to a female friend because I didn't want to get in the middle of their relationship. And then obviously when he finally came clean, I was like, okay, well, I have to. I was like, Ez probably already knows. And she did. He'd been absolutely driving her up the wall. Like, he would not stop messaging her about it. Like, he was obsessed. And he was saying things to her that weren't appropriate, like, that were upsetting her. And I was like, well, hang on. He wouldn't say that in front of me. Why is he saying that to you privately? So I was like, okay, well, I don't want him in my life. So we both cut him off, and blocking wasn't enough. He decided to send cards to our addresses. So I had to lay down the law, and I wrote him a letter that basically just said, stay away from us or I'll call the police. And I was not polite. I will hold my hands up and say that I was very demeaning, because I just needed him to understand the damage that he did. Those relationships weren't repairable at that point. All he had to do was just listen to us, but he decided to paint himself as the victim to us. I was supposed to be having a Halloween party, and he said he wasn't going to go 3 different times. But when I said, yeah, maybe that's for the best, suddenly he had a breakdown and was like, how dare you? And it's like, whoa, you said you weren't coming. I'm just trying to organise it. I don't need the stress. But yeah, so one of my best friends completely had a breakdown. So I felt very alone before that Comic-Con and meeting some of the best friends I have. I met another friend at a later Comic-Con, and they've now become a regular thing. I am enjoying it more. One of my friends got me into TikTok, so I'm kind of recording content that way. And it just made me think, I started this channel. Do I want to continue it? Do I want to pivot and make it something else? Do I just want to post my TikTok content, And truthfully, I don't think I have a concrete answer for you. But I like that this is an option. I think I might post some TikToks for shorts just to kind of start getting this channel more active. I might do some streaming, might do some long form content. Me and my friends have kind of talked about some subjects. There's some really hot topics at the moment with some very unsavory people in the community that I think is worth talking about, and kind of how do we ensure that we have a safe environment at these events. Because there is a scale. There are the full-on predators, all the way to people who are maybe a little bit socially awkward. But it's complicated because people weaponize that sometimes. So I think there's a really interesting conversation there, and I think multiple voices is best. And I was also just love to talk about some of the stuff that's come out recently, like Daredevil Born Again, and I just saw Sinners today, which is why I have a very vampy look. And it was like a masterpiece, and it was beautiful, and I love hearing people talk about the stuff that they love, which is why I started the channel. And after everything happened, I wasn't sure I wanted to do this, but I don't know, maybe I do. I know this is a lot of information, and I don't know if anyone's really cares, and that's fine. I just wanted to share a little bit kind of why I disappeared. It's really interesting because obviously there's people who are really important in my life that they didn't know that person who started that channel, and they didn't know the broken person I was when I stopped. I'm doing better, and that's all you can really ask for. Life is never static. There are always going to be ups and downs, and I think that's kind of why I wanted to maybe be a bit oversharey, because shit happens. You lose people, and I've cried a lot over it, but also I'm really happy that I got to spend that time with my nan. I'm really happy she's at peace, because by the end there wasn't much of my nan left, and that's really difficult. I lost my great-grandma to cancer, but it was so quick. There was barely time to process it. This was a really long, drawn-out process, and I'm so glad of the time we got together, and we had some really nice times. We made new memories, which was really special. But I am also glad that she's not suffering anymore, because I know it was tough on her, and I know she was struggling, and she's such a tough lady. was unbelievable. It's like nothing could take her down. But I think one day she was like, "Nah, I'm done now." She'd said all her goodbyes. She was ready. And yeah, it's not like knowing that magically makes it not hurt. It did still hurt, but I remember the good days. I remember that I got to say goodbye to her, that I got that extra time, and I really couldn't ask for any more. And in that way, I'm so blessed. And I am rebuilding from that nonsense I was told. I'm building more of a structure for myself again. I'm discovering all these things about myself, and I'm rebuilding stronger than ever. And maybe this channel will be part of it. I can't promise that there will be regular content, but I would love to get my friends involved and film some stuff. Sorry for the quality. I do have a new microphone, but I haven't quite set everything up, and it's very echoey. I probably need to get some soundproofing in here and do some stuff, so it's not just echo. It's not fun. So if you've got this far, thank you for watching. Hit that subscribe button, because who knows what's coming next. But I think it'll be fun. Thanks, guys.